What's up? What's up? What's going on?
It's all good. It's all good.
I said, what's going on?
Stupid.
You stupid?
What changed you with me?
I said, what's going on?
I said, what's up? I said, what's up?
I said, what's going on?
I said, what's up? I said, what's up?
All right.
Yeah, I said, the one talking. Ain't me.
And there is the behind-the-scene footage of the first Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford All Access that we missed, that we didn't see in the actual initial press conference. This was when they were in New York, and Terence Crawford, of course, was walking through the hall. Derrick James was coming in, and he passed Terence Crawford, and Terence Crawford asked him, hey, what's up? And the funny thing about Derrick James turned around aggressively, as though Terence Crawford was initiating something. He was saying something, like he was trying to check him. He was trying to, ask him what's going on. Like, hey, what you want to do, basically, you want to have a go? What you want to do? You want a piece of me? What you want to get? Where you going? And the counterpunch that I think Derrick James took that, and it wasn't what Terence Crawford said, even though you could take that, because the way Terence Crawford was, he wasn't saying anything like, hey, I'm going to beat you up, I'm going to do this. But his body language, his body language was saying much more than that. When he walked past him, he said, well, what's going on? And Derrick James like, what's up? And because Terence turned around and initiated a conversation with the same wording, instead of changing the wording, less alarming, Derrick James was like, face crinkled all up, like, hey, like, what's going on? Like, he got on high alert, like, what was this? And I think that all comes from people. The whole 4 to 5 year buildup in a fight where Derrick James had some interesting things to say about that fight at hand. Derrick James has said some stuff that really made me curious about where Derrick James stood, what he really wanted for his fighter. Did he really want his fighter to fight Terence Crawford? And I think this is the result of that. Because Derrick James is a guy that, he somewhat started speaking as though he was the advisor, as though he was the manager, as though he was the guy that was promoting Errol Spence. And in a sense, to be fair, some trainers are, but when he started talking about Terence Crawford can't even sell out this and that, and he's not marketable enough, I'm like, okay, that's not your job. Your job is to get him prepared to the next up-and-coming threat. Okay? So the next incoming threat was Terence Crawford, and it lingered on forever. Now, it wasn't Derrick James that stopped this fight from happening, but I don't think he had any damn thing to do with it happening. Okay, so we have to make that crystal clear. And I think Terence Crawford is the kind of guy that he saw Derrick James, and he knows Derrick James been saying stuff about him. He knows that, So the aggressive, like, what's going on? I don't think Terence Crawford, he's a silent guy. He's the silent killer. He doesn't really have time to talk. Now, what could have transpired in that situation? I don't know, because there was a couple people that instinctively got together and got between those two that kept that from whatever happening. You know what I mean? But it was very interesting to see that aggressiveness to and from each guy. Okay. But I think, and I like that. That's like, those are one of the reasons why I miss All Access. That's one of the reasons why I miss 24/7, to be honest, because they started it with Floyd, and Floyd and Oscar. And, that's how those things and those fights started. And it was an absolute treat to see. And it's a blessing to see this continued on Showtime. But it just shows you how that's what happens when you talk about a guy, and then that guy hears you for many, many, many years, and then you guys finally come together and you see each other face to face. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about the altercation between Terence Crawford and trainer Derrick James. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!